What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be looking at the game Power Switch. Now, this is a card game, and the object of the game is to be the person that has the lowest amount of points by the time you reach 300. So let's take a look at it. Okay, everybody, here we go. I have a slight cold, so please forgive me. Anyway, in this game, you've got different cards, numbered 1 through 12, and they are different colors. And you also have a couple of power cards in here that I'll talk about. Other object of the game is you're going to be trying to get the lowest score by the time somebody else reaches 300 points. The power cards that you have one that's called the Power Switch. Everybody's going to be receiving one of these, and you're going to be able to use one per round. Now, once somebody uses this card, nobody else is going to be able to use it for that particular round. But what this is going to allow you to do, it's going to allow you to switch hands with another player. You also have what's called the Shock Play card, and this works as a wild card to replace any card that is going to be on what's called the Power Grid. And depending on how many players there are, you're going to deal out a certain amount of these cards in the game. And you're also going to have what's called the Generator deck, and this is going to be placed on the side, and if someone is unable to play a card, they're going to be able to go ahead and take a card from that deck. If they can play it, they'll play it. If they can't, they'll just hold on to it. You also have dice in here, and you're going to be rolling these in the very beginning to determine what the start card is going to be. You've got numbers, which is going to represent the number, and then you've got the color on this one, and there's also a couple of letters. You got one that says D. This means the dealer is going to place the card on the table. And they also have one that says L, and this means the person with the highest score is going to do so as well. Otherwise, whoever the first player is that happens to have the card that matches the dice is going to go ahead and play the card there in the middle and say, I have the power. You're going to go ahead and deal out all the cards to all the players, and we'll just go ahead and roll the dice. And here we have a 12 and a red on the power. So everyone's going to go ahead and look through their cards. Okay, and player 3 has the card, so what he'll do is he'll say, I have the power. And then what he's going to do is he's going to go ahead and lay the card down like so. Now, the other players are going to be able to play cards sequentially underneath this card. Since 12 is the highest number, it's going to be below. But you can play the 11, and then the 10, and then the 9, whoever has that card. And you're only going to be able to play 4 such cards in that way. The other thing you can do is if you happen to have a card that matches the number, it's a different color, you can go ahead and play it across from there, and then the other players can go ahead and play off of that card. So it goes to player 1. Let's just say player 1 looks at his cards here, and he's got a green 12. So let's just say he decides he's going to go ahead and play the green 12 over there. So let's go on to player 2. And player 2 has, well, it doesn't look like player 2 has a card that he can play. So what he'll do is he'll go ahead and draw from the Generator deck, and he's got a Shock Play card. So let's just say he decides, okay, I'm going to make this an 11. And then it's going to go ahead and go to player 3. So we'll go ahead and look at player 3, and player 3 is going to go ahead and look, and he has a 12. So he'll go ahead and play it over there, and then it will go on to player 1. And this is basically the way the game is going to go. Once the last card has been played, meaning that all the cards that possibly have been played have been played, or you're going to go ahead and keep score. And the way scoring works is any cards that are worth from 1 to 6 are worth 5 points. Cards 7 to 12 are worth 10 points. And any card replaced by a Shock Play card that you happen to have in your hand is going to be worth 50 points. So anyway, you'll total those up. And then once somebody gets to 300 points, that is going to end the game. And whoever has the lowest amount of points at that point is going to win. And that, folks, is Power Switch. So my final thoughts on Power Switch. This game reminds me a lot of the game Kings in the Corner. This is a game my wife and I like, my family likes, and it plays a little bit like Solitaire, where you're trying to play out all of your cards. And this game kind of reminds me of that. It also reminds me a little bit of Uno, where you get to play cards that are the same number and of the same color. And then it's got a couple of little variants there with the Shock Play card and the Power Switch card. This is a game that really anybody can play. Younger players can play it. Older players can play it. It's very easy to learn. And there's not much to it as far as the rules. You just pick it up and you play, and it's just got a couple little variants in there. So I think for anybody that's looking for just a simple game to just put out and play, you know, get some friends together and just looking for something simple to play, this is a pretty cool little game. And I definitely would recommend it if you're like a fan of games like Kings in the Corner or Uno or games like that where you're matching things as well. So guys, that's my review of Power Switch. Catch you later. Keep on gaming.